hello, 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 oh, 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 oh,
What is wrong with you? That doesn't look right.
no,
What?
hello, 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 hello. Show windows side by side. Wonder why I won't do that. You're live, honey.
Oh, hi.
You're
Hello,
live
everybody.
on the internet.
It is Tuesday, 3:32. We're 2 minutes late. Drew is doing something over there. Not quite sure what, but Happy New Year, everybody.
Interneting.
It is 2024.
It is 2024.
And Drew, I'm carrying a little tension in my shoulders.
Oh my God. Enough.
There's just a little
Enough
tension in
of
my
you.
shoulders.
Tension in your shoulder. I get tension in your shoulders.
It's just I feel a little tension here.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
Let me just get comfortable.
Get comfortable. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Look, the internet's live.
Yes, we are on.
I figured we would like today better today than waiting to do this.
Than never?
Yeah. Can you hear yourself okay?
Yeah, I can hear myself.
That sounds fantastic.
Better now than never is what you're saying?
Well, I mean, I wanted to get this out of the way.
Hey, so the last time we were on, did we have a dog? I don't remember. I don't think we had a dog.
I don't know.
We have a dog.
In the morning.
Whoa.
Yes, in the morning.
We're going to change the name of the show.
Oh, are we making that announcement now?
No.
No? Okay.
No, because no.
Because it's a lot of pressure?
It's just stuff. It's
Stuff.
not bad.
Okay, well, we're going to change the name,
Hi,
everybody.
Milo. Hi,
Hi,
Jess.
Cindy. I hope everybody's enjoying their last week of vacation before the kids go back to school.
Oh my God, that's already.
Would really like for everybody to go back to normal. I feel like this has been the longest.
You would like for everybody to go back to normal. I
Yes, like we should all go back to work and back to school. Right? At least I feel like it's been the longest vacation.
It's been a lot. You know what was crazy is that no one was doing anything for New Year's, and between all of our friends, usually there's some big party, somebody's doing
Something's always
something.
going on, yeah.
But this year, no one was doing anything for New Year's. It was like everyone was just chilling at home. And hey, Patty, Patty's listening. Hi, Patty.
Hi.
It was crazy because no matter who you talk to, they're like, holidays were too much this year.
Well,
I'm just
because
gonna hang
I
out."
think the consensus across the board was that everybody was exhausted.
Well, okay, but I wonder if that's like a post-COVID thing. Because COVID, we got used to just doing all the home stuff, and there wasn't people going out, and people weren't hosting. And now it's been 2 years.
Okay, well, I think it's partial, maybe that partially. And the other part is that it was because it fell on 2 Sundays. It was like a Sunday, Monday situation. It just seemed really dragged out. It was the
It
longest
was a lot.
2 weeks.
And then you couldn't buy liquor for New Year's.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if that was really my biggest issue. I don't even think I wanted to drink anymore.
I don't know, man.
I mean, the tequila shot said differently, but I wasn't.
Yeah, we got to try some new tequila, some new vodka. We were drinking tamarindo vodka.
Yeah, the tamarindo vodka was
I think
a
we talked
hit.
about that
We
last
did talk
week.
about that last time on the show. But I think hands down, I'm still only drinking Dobel and Casamigos with soda water. I know I went back to saying that I wanted to try something that tasted a little bit better, but no.
I was drinking. My holiday beverage was New Riff Single Barrel Bourbon.
I didn't try that.
I enjoyed it very much.
I'm not really trying your stuff. I'm perfectly fine.
Whatever.
Not trying any of the stuff you're drinking.
Whatever, dude.
I did have a lot of wine.
We
There
drank
was
a lot of wine.
There was a lot of wine involved. We had a birthday dinner with a friend, and it felt like those 3 couples, us and the 2 other couples, had a lot of
Oh,
wine.
yeah,
That was a
we
lot of
did.
wine at
Yeah.
dinner.
And we opened up a William Chris bottle that was 10 years old, 15 years old, something like that.
15 years old. It was 15 years old.
And it kind of held up.
I mean, I had a sip.
It was pretty good.
I had a sip and moved on.
How do you answer the phone when somebody calls you? What do you say when you pick up the phone?
Well, it depends because I can see who's calling most of the time.
Not
If
fair.
it's okay, if I'm not paying attention, and the phone rings and I just answer it, I always say, Hi, this is Jessica.
But you know what's interesting about that? So I remember I would say that for a while, and I was like, well, of course they know it's me. They called me.
I know, but I use my phone for work, so I never know if it's a work call. And
well,
if it's a
but
number,
if they're trying to get a hold of you, then
well,
it's like,
clearly, but maybe
next
you're
time
right.
you say, this is Jessica, I'm going to say, nuh-uh.
No way.
That's
Is it really
not
you?
at all what I expected.
I always answer or hi, hello.
Do you answer hello on cell phones?
I do. Hello.
Only
Yeah,
if
I
it's
think so.
if it's an
I don't know.
unknown
Call
number.
me. Call me. Call me. Let's see what I
Well, no,
default
I'm asking
to.
because I saw this Instagram and I thought it was funny.
What did
and
the
it talked
Instagram
about
say?
how if you're in the valley, if you're Hispanic, how do you answer the phone?
How?
How? What do you say? When you answer?
Hello.
Really?
Bueno.
Bueno. You say bueno.
No, I don't
Not
answer
you.
the phone like that, but
But
sure.
it was talking about how the reason you say bueno is usually there used to be an operator. Remember what operators are? There's an operator involved, and they would check to make sure that the call quality was
Gabe was saying, ¿qué onda?
good. The call quality was good.
Good.
Bueno.
Bueno.
Bueno. Bueno. Oh, okay, good. I can hear you. Go ahead. Caller, go
I've
ahead.
never thought about how I answer the phone all that much. I do always default to, this is Jessica.
¿Qué onda?
If it's you,
Get
it's always like, hey, babe. Or how do you hang up? How do you hang up the phone call?
What happens when you accidentally tell someone, I love
Oh,
you?
it's happened to me before. I love you too, babe. Oh, wait. Sorry, not babe. Wait, no, don't love you. Wait, I do love you. Fuck it. Oh, shit.
Did you just potty mouth our first show of the year and you
Did.
dropped an
I
F-bomb?
did. And I'm the one that's constantly talking
Yes,
about not
dude.
cursing. And there you go. And now it's just downhill.
Maria's on. And
Hi,
she looked
Maria.
like she had as much fun as we did on New Year's. That was fun. Oh, look. A Kern is on. A wild Kern has appeared.
A wild one. No, so I really honestly, I think you do sometimes say like, I love you. Or you too. We were talking about this the other night. I think with,
Happy birthday. You too. Oh, wait.
yeah. Or like, have a safe trip. You too. Oh, wait a minute. They're not going anywhere.
They're not going. Speaking of not going anywhere, I was talking about this on the way over here.
What?
Your car is tracking you.
My car, because you're a stalker.
Because I'm a stalker.
You
no,
are a
there
stalker.
was an article in the New York Times or something, and it was talking about how this lady had a Mercedes, and she didn't realize, but her ex-husband was tracking her every move by the app on her phone. Not tracking her phone, but tracking the whereabouts of the vehicle. So just a friendly reminder, make sure you check your location services on all of your devices.
We share locations.
We do.
We share locations with like various people.
We do.
Like my sister,
yeah, I've got
my
the
mom.
most random. Sean, for example, knows my every move.
Why?
Well, I don't know. Why not? I know
I mean,
where
we
he
don't
is,
we don't
too.
have anywhere to like hi. Like, where am I going? I'm going to work, home. I'm going to HEB. I don't have anywhere to go.
My truck tells me where I am parked and for how long, and depending on the direction and time where I'm heading, it suggests locations. Yeah, if you plug it in Google Maps, will do that for you.
It'll suggest where you're going, and it'll automatically route you.
Or it'll tell you that you need gas based on when
Mine.
you've stopped at gas stations. Or if it pulls data from the computer, like CarPlay, pull data from the computer in the car, and it'll tell you.
No,
when
mine
you
just
need
yells
gas.
at me like, "Hey, you're at 10 miles."
Yeah.
before it's
Well,
empty.
it's cool if it syncs with your calendar also, and it tells you where you're going to go.
Like, we've got Gabe's.
If you're Lisa DLS, you say, huh, yes, instead of hello.
Yeah, no. So, okay. So that's interesting. You track do you ever look to see where I'm at?
Yes.
Okay. Why? What,
To find out how far away you are from the house.
so you can hurry up and get in the shower and get dressed?
We're not going to talk about that.
We're not going to talk about
It's
that.
funny as hell, though.
Oh, I think we should talk about that.
Jess comes home on a warpath every morning after she works out. Her adrenaline is like through the roof. And so,
and you're
so
scared of me.
when she rolls into the house, dude, it's like the comandante has entered, and everyone, it's
my
like,
God.
wake up, motherfuckers! Like,
Not that bad.
It's that bad.
It's not
so
that bad.
you come in, and it's just like you are at a level 100, and we are literally still asleep.
It
Like, we
bothers
haven't even
me.
hit a 1
It
yet.
bothers me so much
so
to
you
walk
roll
into the
in.
house and everybody's still asleep.
Dude.
I'm turning on lights and like, let's get going.
So I know what time my alarm goes off, and I know more or less when Jessica can get there. And it's like, I'll look at my phone to see where she is. And dude, if I hear the little chime from the Ring doorbell, like that's why I have it set up. It goes like ding ding, letting me know there's motion in the front yard. And dude, I
You're jumping.
run to the bathroom.
But tell them what happened.
It's-
I'll sorry.
So I like book it to the bathroom so I can be sitting like I turn on the lights, turn on the fan, get in the bathroom so that way you have no idea how long I've been in there. Like it could be 5 minutes, could be 20 minutes, could be 2 minutes. You have no idea.
No clue.
And so a couple mornings.
You're so dumb.
Okay, so there's I mean a lot of people in here know me, but there's a very few that don't, I guess. And you know I'm like 6'5", rocking about 260 pounds. Then I want you to picture me. I slept in. I heard the doorbell go ding ding, and I was like, oh shit! And I popped out of bed, and I booked it. And to get to my bathroom, you've got to turn a corner, and one of my legs slipped out from under me, dude, and I hit the ground.
What I would have paid to have seen it.
As I'm falling, I'm thinking, man, I'm 46. I can't be falling. I'm gonna blow a hip. Like, dude, I just smacked the ground, and like I'm scurrying to get up because first I don't want you to see me, and second of all, I don't want you to see me falling down.
I'm so glad I didn't see this.
And I'm like,
I would have been like, "What is wrong with you?"
Life alert. My watch is like, "Have you fallen, sir?"
And I would have been like, "It's if you had just gotten up 30 minutes ago, you wouldn't have to be rushing."
Nikki says, "Is it morning? Did I miss something?" Dude, we weren't gonna do this on New Year's Day.
No,
which was 2 days ago. Or no, it was
yesterday. I slept in. So I don't get to sleep in often. It just doesn't happen.
You don't let yourself sleep in often.
Well, okay, I don't let myself sleep in often, but
you
I also
have people to yell at. I mean, you have to be very punctual about
I have people to scare into the shower, apparently.
So that's why I track you. I track you to find out.
To find out how much time you
have.
have.
How far away.
How much time you have before you're in trouble.
Yeah, man, because I know what mood.
So
I
bad.
know what mood you're going to be in when you get back from wherever you go.
You know, I don't like that assumption.
It's not an assumption. It's absolutely
the mood could vary.
Bullshit.
The mood varies.
No, ma'am, it does not.
It does.
No, it doesn't.
It does vary.
You realize our kids listen to this and they're listening to you lie right now, right?
That's not nice. I'm a little amped, and y'all are slow.
A little amped.
You guys are slow to get started.
No, dude, we're at a normal schedule because you wake up at 4:30.
The thing is that everybody needs to be up and dressed and ready to go by 7. So if I walk in and it's 6:30, you're failing.
You don't walk in at 6:30. You walk in at 6:04.
Well, you're failing. You should be up.
Forget about it.
All right, moving on.
That's why I track you.
Okay, well, I track you.
You know what do you track me for? Hold on. What is so fascinating about my life that you feel like you need
to see how much longer you're going to take to wherever you're going?
Yeah.
Yes, where? Because you say, I'm on my way. 20 minutes later, I track you and you're still at home.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah, no, it's the thing. And then it's like, hey, are you meeting me? Oh, yeah, I'm on my way. And then all of a sudden you haul ass because you realize that I'm tracking you. I'm so scary. I'm so scary.
We heard about friends of ours whose kids exchange tracking information with each other. Like 6th graders, right? 7th graders? 8th graders? Whatever they're. Exchanging information, their Life 360 information so they could track each other. Dude.
Stop tracking.
Dude, in 6th grade? That's just setting a bad precedent.
I wasn't, but I feel like the girls do it to find out where each other are. And maybe the girls and boyfriends do it to find out, I don't know.
I don't even know who I'm tracking. But I randomly go through and I knock everything off.
Well,
so
like
I'll block everyone.
My sister's tracking me.
Gabe's texting me the number for Life Alert.
Yeah.
Just to make sure.
Honey, we got to get to the little button across the little collar. But like my mom has my location services. My sister has my location services. And I think we do it just so that we're
my sister, Lori. Your sister?
Yeah, my sister.
Your
so
cousin,
that she...
My daughter. Renee.
Because Val used to go out, and we didn't know if she was going to answer the phone or not.
I've got... Dude, my friend in Austria.
We didn't make sure her little bubble's moving.
Tennessee. My friend in...
And I genuinely don't care what she's doing. I just want the little bubble to move so I know she's okay. That's all.
That's it.
They're asking, did we share New Year's plans and ideas, resolutions? Oh, so I have a quick... I know we talked about resolutions the last time.
1920 by 1080. Ha 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 ha.
It's going to take me a minute.
It's a resolution of your mind.
Oh my God, you're such a nerd. You're such a nerd. Okay, resolutions. Do you have any? I know you talked about executing on every idea that you have.
No, not on every idea. I want to execute on ideas that are worth executing on.
Well, how do you gauge that?
So what happens is is I'll wake up in the middle of the night and I'll have an idea and I'll write it down.
Am I yelling at you in the middle of the night?
We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Are you running?
Running or getting pissed off at you for not sitting with me at Cowboys games?
Which leads me to a whole nother topic about dreaming.
So, oh God, I don't know if I want to go down that.
Somebody's a little jelly in the
Hold
morning.
on. You know what's funny? If you open up my notes on my on my iCloud, I've got one where I keep track of things in the middle of the night, but then like it's so stupid.
You have to share in order for me to laugh.
Funeral playlist for Drew.
What in the world? We do need to get you Life Alert.
Dude, I had a moment in church where I was like, I really like that song, and I want to make sure that, like, when I'm dead, that's the music that I want.
How am I going to get into your phone to
well,
see
that's
this
what
note?
I put it on here just in case, like, I croak. You'd be like, oh, shit, he's got a playlist.
Okay, I have a question. Assume you do croak. How do I have access to that note?
You don't, dude. Apple locks it all down.
So then I can't see it.
You know my password.
I do, I think.
Our daughter put her face on my phone. She doesn't even get my password. When it was unlocked, she put her face on there. I'm like, what the hell? Anyway, no privacy
She's a little
around
sneak.
here.
Okay, well, hold on. There was something you were talking about.
Funeral
Oh, yeah.
playlist
No,
for
hold
Drew.
on. Your ideas that you want
Shall
to...
we gather at the river? Just so you know.
I don't want to go down your funeral playlist. No one wants to go down it.
Johnny Cash, When the Man Comes Around.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
But we're talking about your resolution.
Resolution 1920 by 10.
Oh my gosh. So Drew wants to execute on all his ideas that he has
Okay,
when he's
so I wake
on the
up-
toilet. He writes things down.
No, I wake up in the middle of the night and I have an idea and I write it down.
Right.
And some of them I think are pretty good and some of them are just totally hilariously bad, like creating a playlist for your funeral. But what I want to do is those ideas that are good, that I've talked to other people about, that I think this is something viable, I really want to try and execute on them, because I've always said that I don't have the resources to execute on things. And you were like, yeah, you do. And I was like, no, man, I don't, because I don't think about things in small pieces. I don't think like, oh, we can hire a developer and it costs, $3,000, $4,000 a month, and that equates to, $600 a week. I don't think about
you
like,
see it as I need $5 million.
I need $5 million,
now.
and then I get mad because I don't have $5 million, and then I don't ever execute, and then someone else does it, right?
Right.
And that's the worst feeling.
So it's like bite-sized pieces, realizing that
So
everything is attainable as long as you can bite your way through it.
I'm leaving a blank space so I can clip that for later, because I don't know where that's gonna fit, but it's gonna fit somewhere good.
You keep talking about these alleged clips and you've made none.
I've made none.
You've made none.
Patrick Daniels crying today.
Why?
Because of that last play where that player from Washington just smacked the crap out of the ball.
I saw
Get
it.
out of here.
I saw it. I stayed up.
That was a really good game.
I mean, I was dozing off and then I shot up to watch that.
I was really hopeful that UT would win. That would have been real cool.
I don't know if hopeful is the word.
Well, for them and for their fans. I only watch it because my friends went there. You know me in college. Fuck
you know
me. I don't
you
give
know
a
me
shit.
in team sports.
Oh,
that
yeah.
team ball.
Sports ball.
There
Yeah.
it goes. That ball.
Anyway, so that was one resolution, was to execute on ideas and get some stuff done, because I don't have $5 million and I want $5 million.
Right, to implement all of
No,
these
I don't know if
these
it's
fun things
give
that
me $5
may or
million,
may not work.
but
I think the name of the game is diversifying and figuring out just different revenue streams, because that minimum wage isn't going to go up.
Oh, look
any
at
higher.
you leading into the topic.
Oh, look
Jessica
at me.
with
I paid
the softball.
attention.
Well, you know what's
Woo-woo.
funny about minimum wage?
I can volley too, Drew.
Look at this. Look who's got game today. January 1st, 22 states and at least 40 cities and counties raised their minimum wage. As of January 1, 7 states and the District of Columbia will have a minimum wage of $15 or more. Mm-hmm. The highest state minimum wage in 2024 will be Washington State, $16.28 an hour. Seattle is $19 an hour for their minimum wage there, and I don't know if it's all of King County or if it's just Seattle. A close second is California, which is raising its minimum wage to $16 on January 1st. And January 1st isn't the only day minimum wages are going to go up. Some states, such as Nevada and Oregon, July 1st, they're going to go up. And then Florida's minimum wage is going up in September.
To what? Do you know?
It doesn't say. But these are, and then there's sector-specific wage hikes, which is kind of cool. In California, starting in April, fast food workers must be paid at least $20 an hour. And on June 1st, healthcare workers will start earning between $18 and $23 an hour minimum wage.
But Drew, can you tell me what the minimum wage rate
in
is
New York City,
Texas?
in New York City, app-based restaurant delivery workers in New York City, Uber, Grubhub, DoorDash, minimum wage of $17.96 per hour, almost $18 an hour, to increase to $19.96.
And drum roll, what is Texas?
Texas minimum wage. Let's see. Is anyone listening? Is anyone going to post or anything?
Does anyone know?
Give it about 10 seconds for it to catch up. The minimum wage in the state of Texas is not $19.
Nope.
It's not $16.
Nope.
It's not $15 or 14 or 13 or 12 or 11 or 10 or 9 or 8. The minimum wage in Texas remains at $7.25 an hour. So for all you people complaining about cost of food and cost of living and all this other stuff, realize that the rest of the country is increasing minimum wage, and here in the great state of Texas, all that money's going to large corporations to make sure that they can keep making more money.
I can't imagine.
Okay, so $7.25 an hour minimum
You
wage.
realize that
It's not a livable wage.
most fast food combos are that, if not more.
Yeah, dude.
Like-
That is an annual salary. It's
Yeah.
$15,000 a year.
It's not. It's just not livable.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's our great state of Texas. That's what we've done this week. Also, in wonderful news about the great state of Texas, our beautiful governor, Greg Abbott. Oh, man. So, you know what's funny is Greg Abbott and Ted Cruz were at the UT game last night. The percentage or the statistics when Ted Cruz shows up at a game to cheer on the team.
Oh, no.
Yeah, 17-2. Means that 17 times out of 19 times that he's shown up to root for a team, 17 times it's lost.
Ooh.
2 times it's won. So the death knell is when Ted Cruz shows up. But not only was Ted Cruz there, Abbott was there too. So Twitter blew up and people are like, change your bets now. As soon as the picture showed up of Ted Cruz. Because they're like, dude, this is the deal. And I text some friends. I was like, don't you think someone would tell him like, hey, dude,
Stay away.
like you should stay away if you want him to win?
No, honey, because people still invite me to go gambling with them, and I
There he
am the
is.
cooler.
So there's a picture right there. Ted
see
Cruz
it.
showed up. 15-2 since 2017, betting on the money line against teams. Ted Cruz shows up in order to support in person. That means they would have profited $2,344 if they
Well,
placed a $100 bet on
We
each.
don't know if that's real.
I mean, that's
but-
statistics.
I
so
mean, I will tell you that statistically, never gamble with me.
never gamble with you.
No.
Well, the other
No.
news I was going to say in Texas is that as of January 1st, any state of Texas university that receives funding from the state has now been ordered to abolish their diversity, equity.
Oh, I hit something.
You hit something, and inclusiveness office. So no more DE&I for Texas universities unless they establish an office for themselves.
I have mixed feelings about this.
What are your mixed feelings about this?
So part of me feels like everyone should earn their own merit,
Okay.
and that your background should have nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
And the other part of me is like, well, your background has everything to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so therefore you do need to make it an even playing field.
Mm-hmm.
But I do see how a particular group of people could feel like this is unfair.
So let's take the Rio Grande Valley, for example.
Okay.
Down here, you have a lot of people that maybe recruiters don't pay attention to.
Right.
Maybe now they do, but before, let's take Rice University, SMU. Let's take one of these big universities, UT even. Let's take one of these big universities in Texas. And you know that there's a lot of legacy people that go there. You know, there's a lot of people that'll pay tuition that go there. You're trying to breed a certain type of element coming out of that university that are high
Right.
achieving, whatever. The Rio Grande Valley is not the first place you would look in the 50s and go, oh man, you know what? Maybe there's some diamonds down there.
Right.
I'm just going to focus on Houston, Dallas, Austin, San Antonio. I'm not going to look down there. What would have happened if that were the case? When people wouldn't even give someone the time of day based on where they live because of their gender or their ethnicity, or maybe they didn't fit the mold, and they wouldn't even give them an opportunity. They wouldn't go look in small areas to go
So-
find people because they weren't being held to a standard. They were like, you know what, recruit whoever you want, or bring in whichever student you want, but they're only going to look where they are. And so if you have a bunch of white middle-aged men running the university campus, they're only going to look for people that they know that they're comfortable with. It takes a rare breed of people to go outside of lines and go find people that they know nothing about and try and recruit them to a university.
Right.
So by doing that, you may have people. Great example, Amos, from the mayor from Ambrosio from FAR. Great example. Grew up in Colonia, blah 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 blah. Like the whole South FAR story, right?
Right.
Wasn't easy for him to get into university, and people wouldn't give him the time of day, right, to get into the university if they just looked at where he was from and whatever it was. But look at what he's been able to do with his career. So if you think about people in the area who wouldn't get the time of day because there was no standard, then what? So if you don't have an office, if you don't have a DE&I office trying to actively find people that are going to be those diamonds in the rough, you're just going to end up with the same cookie cutter mold.
What was the reasoning of getting rid of it? Like what was the basis? They just pulled it. Why?
Because they felt like this. There's a whole. I
don't know anything about it, which is why I'm
I will
asking.
get super conspiracy theory if I start talking about it.
Okay,
but
well, let's not.
there's a whole agenda there about making sure that the people who can have access do have access, and there's
the
people who
don't have
there's
access
people who
shouldn't
said,
have
well,
access.
I didn't get the job because there was a female Hispanic that got the job instead of me so that they could meet a certain deal, or I didn't get admissions into the university because they were trying to fill their quota, which is all horse shit to begin with. But I mean, it may have been, it may have had some bugs to work out in the early days of all that stuff. But now we're at a point where it's like, dude, you can find everybody from around the world to come in and be a part of it.
So because you can find everybody from around the world to come in, wouldn't it be assumed that we're making diverse selections
Assumed.
so that we no longer need the threshold because it's already happening?
I talked about Rice, and Rice is one of the first universities. It says, as Texas bans diversity and equity offices at public colleges, Rice University's inclusion efforts continue to march on.
I was going to say, because I think the inclusion efforts do march on.
Yeah, well,
I think it just becomes
if you have a university that wants to do it,
it becomes the
well, but then that office. But the
unspoken,
thing
it's
is,
just
that
something you
office then
do.
has to be paid for out of whatever college funds that they can raise, Booster Club or whatever it is that raises the money for it. But the state isn't allocating money to it anymore.
I think I just don't know enough of what the state was already doing for it. So removing it, I don't know what the big, what happens.
Republican lawmakers banned DE&I offices at public colleges and universities starting next year, arguing they emphasize divisions between different racial or ethnic groups and force liberal ideology on the students.
Wow.
Texas diversity should still be reflected at its universities. However, the elevation of DEI offices, mandatory diversity statements, political litmus tests, and diversity training have the opposite effect and only further divides, says Senator Brandon Creighton, a Conroe Republican who authored the new law. DE&I programs have become $1 million industry at taxpayer-funded institutions, yet they have made no progress to advancing or increasing diversity, which is not true if you look at their... And again, then it talks about critical race theory and everything else.
Right.
This is white America. I mean, like, let's not sugarcoat it. Elephant in the room. This is white America. This is white Republicans trying to figure out how to keep their stranglehold because they feel like they're losing to the minorities. This is racism at its best. I mean, this is the 2023 Republican
I don't know if I agree
Party.
with that.
You're
And
talking about
I
this
don't
is
know.
Conroe. I mean, you're
No.
talking about Houston that just got
Oh my,
$40
what
million
did we just walk
funded
into?
by the governor so that they can keep an eye on a neighborhood outside of Houston because there's too many
you have
illegals there.
effectively
Come
made
on.
me cringe. All
Dude,
right.
I'm just saying, man.
Moving
It's
on.
like it's just another one of those things.
I don't know
Oh, Texas.
if I agree
You know,
with that statement, so we're just going to move right on.
California low-income residents have access to health care regardless of immigration status. Starting January 1st, all undocumented immigrants, regardless of age, will qualify for Medi-Cal, California's version of federal Medicaid. About 700,000 people who are there in the state now have access to medical insurance. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I think everybody should have access to,
Legal or illegal.
yeah, everybody should have access to medical care,
Yeah, interesting.
regardless of status.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people that don't agree with you. Do you know what Dallas, Texas is famous for?
What?
I talked about this the other night. These are my notes of things that I
know.
found
I'm
interesting over the last week.
I'm afraid now. Like, oh,
Dallas, Texas has a backlog, the largest backlog in the United States going back to 1996 of untested rape kits.
that's awful.
That's awful.
That's
1996.
awful. So why that backlog?
I don't know. Dallas
Not enough
sucks.
people.
I don't
Not
know.
enough people working.
I don't know. Who else?
Ooh.
Some other the minimum wage things like still like
The
because if you
disparity
combine
is so big
if
that it
you
just kind of makes you
combine
wonder.
minimum wage stuff and then healthcare and all that
so
stuff.
you don't have access to healthcare. You're only making $7.25 an hour, and I don't know how you ever come up in life. Like how do you pay your bills?
Yeah. Well, what's interesting is where people are going in the state of Texas because of stuff like this. So a lot of those,
Where are they going?
like there was a lot of stuff that happened about California over the last couple of years. Californians coming in, moving to
Right.
Austin, so on and so forth. Now, I think I talked about it on this show, or it was the other show, where I talked about how Austin is now, how there's a lot of reports are like tech's moving out. Tech's like,
Yeah.
you know what? Austin is not creating a sound environment for us. It's making it difficult to do work there because of things like this. It's creating a bad vibe, and the politics behind everything are even worse. While big cities like Austin, Dallas, and San Antonio have traditionally been the hotspots, recent census estimates from 2020 to mid-2022, over the last 2 years, show that smaller places have experienced significant population growth, while their larger counterparts have seen minimal growth, or in some cases population to decline. It's a trend that may persist as Americans continue to reassess notions of affordability and community. Do you know what one of the fastest growing cities in the United States is? Its population has surged by over 15% in the last 2.5 years.
Is that city outside of Dallas?
Mm-mm.
New
This is-
Braunfels.
New Braunfels.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, man. New Braunfels. This emerges as one of the fastest growing cities, as well as
It's
Katy.
expensive to live in New Braunfels now.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Worse than it was before? It's such a cool little city, man.
It is. I like New Braunfels.
Yeah.
Am I saying that right?
No, you are. Yes, there's a song that there's only one S in New Braunfels. Is that what it's called?
New Braunfels.
Yeah. It's not New Braunfels. Yeah, everyone always screws it up and says that, but there's a whole song. It says
It's fine. We don't need the song.
Whatever. Our friend who lives there was the one who played it for us. There's only one S in New Braunfels.
Only less.
Interesting.
Wow. We just went through a whole lot.
Yeah, dude. Social media companies collectively made over $11 billion in the United States advertising revenue. Social media companies collectively made $11 billion in United States advertising revenue. From which group of people? $11 billion.
This is where I stare blankly.
Just in the last year.
From jealous husbands from bad dreams?
No. From minors. $11 billion in ad revenue
That's
that was
terrifying.
focused on minors. Yeah, especially when you combine it with the new report that just popped up in the UK that shows of 7,000 16 to 18-year-olds who responded, 48%, 16 to 18-year-olds, said that they agreed or strongly agreed with the statement, quote, "I think I am addicted to social media." A higher proportion of girls, 57%, agreed compared to boys, 37%, according to the data shared with the
Well,
Guardian.
I mean, I'm always on my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but the thing is, they're talking about, and there's a bunch of lawsuits about this, right? There's crazy lawsuits.
Lawsuits
happening, right?
about being addicted to your phone?
Yeah, about taking advantage of minors and taking advantage of their access and serving up advertising to them.
I know that it does a number on their mental health. It does a number on a lot of people's mental health.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You only post the good, right? And so people don't know how the other half, what the other half is going on.
Or
Hey, but I'm gonna go off.
no,
topic
real quick. This one's interesting.
I mean, is it interesting?
Yeah.
Okay,
Have you
let's
ever
see.
heard of the pink-haired influencer, Aitana Lopez?
No.
Aitana Lopez. She's followed by more than 200,000 people on social media. She posts selfies from concerts, from her bedroom. She tags brands. She's known for Olaplex and lingerie giant Victoria's Secret. And she is a trend of influencers that have popped up on
Okay.
social media that's serving very specific niche markets. And they're doing tremendously. Her and another handful of them are now
Bet.
serving up these influencer style content. You know what the difference with her is?
No.
100% AI generated.
She's not a real person?
She is not a real person. So there's
So
this
who handles her stuff?
marketing agencies. So what's happened is now marketing agencies have realized that influencers are fickle and they don't really do what they're supposed to do. So they've created their own AI influencers that are racking up hundreds of thousands, millions of followers they're seeming to be real, but they're not real. But they're dominating the marketing landscape for social media influencers.
That's incredible.
So
So it's not even real people.
It's not even real.
They're
so
made up.
So when you scroll through and you start seeing people that look like influencers and talk like influencers and are presenting influencer content, and you start following them, they may not even be real.
That's creepy.
Not like that one mailman. That guy from Cincinnati is my favorite.
Oh my gosh.
My favorite follow in the last couple of months.
So
Anyway.
I will tell you, and I'm sorry, I keep clearing my throat. I will tell you that I don't think I follow any influencers. My feed is really, honestly, pug videos.
And trash pandas.
It's like,
But
yeah.
So here's the thing. How many of them
Are real?
are real?
Maybe they're all fake dogs.
No, I mean,
I don't know.
So Pika.ai, a new service that's out.
But that's really
was it
creepy
Pika?
because you don't know what you're looking at anymore.
You don't. So
That's the part that I find the most disturbing is that it's not a real person.
AI created virtual influencers are stealing business from humans.
And that goes, well, and not only is it stealing business from humans, but it also kind of sends you into
Let's
this
go,
like
let's go.
weird, it's like a weird, if you're already comparing yourself to a real person, it's already difficult enough, right? So I look at it from the perspective of a young girl who is following, let's just say Kim Kardashian, right?
Or
and her
Aitana Lopez.
her look and her figure are so unattainable to a regular person, right? That a person that doesn't have access to a chef and a person who doesn't have access to a personal trainer at all times. And so to obtain that look is already creating the most impossible situation in someone's head.
Yeah.
And that's what you're competing with.
And they're competing with the
now
digital
you're
model.
competing with
That is
people that aren't even real.
a digital model that is specifically crafted to meet very specific expectations.
Which is disturbing.
We were taking, and this is how
And
it
then
started.
you take that a step further.
Let's go.
You take that a step further into, to the adult content world. And now,
Yeah.
wives, girlfriends, everything else, you're now competing with women you're never, like, it's not attainable. It's not,
Their bodies are not
right. Like,
attainable.
their bodies are not real. And talk about a total mind game.
We were taken aback by the skyrocketing rates that influencers would charge nowadays. So that got us thinking, what if we just create our own AI influencer, said Diana Nunez, co-founder of the Barcelona-based agency, The Clueless, which created Aitana. The rest is history. We unintentionally created a monster, a beautiful monster. Over the past few years, there have been high-profile partnerships between luxury brands and virtual influencers, including Kim Kardashian's makeup like KKW and Nunuri and Louis Vuitton.
And so these companies knowingly
Yeah.
do sponsorships with this AI model.
So they create their
And the marketing agency is just supposed to
the marketing
create
agency creates
them holding the bag and doing the stuff.
Yeah, it takes a second. You've seen me use Midjourney. It takes a
This
second.
is
And the model's trained, so you have it set up and it's trained, it's ready to go, and you just say, okay, put this bag in Aitana's hand and fall scenario, walking down the street in Barcelona, carrying a Louis Vuitton bag. And
I
you
don't
click
know
a
what's
button and
more
it's done.
disturbing, you saying Barcelona.
Barcelona.
or the AI model. Either way, stop saying it.
It's like when you're at the restaurant and the waiter like has to absolutely, pronounce the word like in the native.
Oh, it's always really.
Oh, these are fresh olives or whatever.
So can you take the AI model to a Dallas Cowboy game?
You could.
Yeah.
You put the. Oh God! Stop it! You walked right into that one.
You did walk right into
Anyway,
that.
this is.
Hey Drew, ever have any dreams you want to talk about?
Man, I was pissed off at you. You
You
don't
were
want to sit
so mad
with
at me, and I don't even know why. I had no idea what was happening.
woke
I think
up-
this happens to everybody.
I woke
though.
up at 4:00 in the morning to text you to tell you what an asshole you were because of what you did in my dream, and then like after a couple of minutes, I was like, "Oh shit!" She's laying right beside me. I don't even have to text her, and then I was like, "Oh shit!"
I was
She didn't really do
dreaming.
that. Yeah,
You were really mad.
You were so mean to me
in your dream.
in my dream, and I woke up pissed, dude. I was like, "Oh."
And what were you going to text me?
I was gonna let you
Just
have it.
Let me have it.
Yeah.
Let me hear it. What were you
I
going to
don't
text
know.
me?
That's not
But why were you mad at me?
Because you were being a prick.
What was the
You
scenario?
wouldn't sit with me at Dallas Cowboys.
I wouldn't sit with you.
I've never even been to a Dallas Cowboys game.
Neither have I. And I'd imagine I'd want to sit next to you.
No.
No, not in this dream. I didn't want to sit next to you.
No. You're like, I'm good here. And I was like, you can't even see the field from there. You're like, no, it's cool. I'm good. And I was like,
Well, if you know me, I'm not really there for watching the game.
no.
It's about the snacks, babe. Was my seat closer to the snacks?
No, it was in between two dudes. And you were having the time of your life. And you were highly entertained.
Oh, yep. That'll
Anyway.
do it too.
I'm going to go back to the AI thing because there was one last note. And I've said this time and time and time again. Another expert has said this is what's this dude's name? Another one. I'm going to leave that part out and just find his name. Many Americans, blah, 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 have continued to push unsupported ideas about the election, blah, 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 generative artificial intelligence tools. I expect a tsunami of misinformation, said Oren Etzioni, an artificial intelligence expert, professor emeritus at University of Washington, which you can't talk about University of Washington because they just beat Texas yesterday at the football game.
I was like, what are you talking about? I can't follow this.
Immediately discredited. I can't prove it that. I hope to be proven wrong, but the ingredients are all there, and I am completely terrified. They're talking about
The election,
about what's coming up with 2024 and the amount of misinformation that's going to be spread. And if you think about what we just talked about, not the dream crap, but if you talk about fake
not
influencers,
me sitting at the Dallas Cowboys game.
AI-generated influencers, fabricated images, videos, and audio clips known as deepfakes have already started making their way into experimental presidential campaign ads.
So that's the part that's so crazy.
So like Lincoln Project. So Trump has already called this one out, right? There was something that Trump did, and he stumbled on his words, or he sounded different, whatever it was, and Lincoln Project ran an ad, but they didn't and even the guy who does Lincoln Project popped up. He's like, they're hilarious to watch in my opinion. And he pops up, he's like, hey Donald, on that one we didn't use any, that was all real footage. You can go back and you can verify it, time code it, whatever. You can verify that this was all real. But on the next ones, watch what we're gonna do. And so it was like straight up like, oh, so you want to see us use deepfakes? So watch what we're going to do.
How are we supposed to know what's real?
That's right. So this comes back to a very interesting point. It's number one, how do we learn? Because the older generations are the ones that are going to be most susceptible to it. Guaranteed. Right. I mean, National Enquirer started this forever ago. How as adults, senior citizens and adults, how are they supposed to decipher what's real and what's not real? And then how do we teach our kids to verify their sources and verify the content?
So what I find difficult is that there are no social media platforms that are verifying it for you. No one can actually do that.
Well, hold on. So this insert the blue check, comment here, where Twitter used to have an entire group of people dedicated to verifying information. Meta and everyone else has people that are dedicated to doing this. They've laid a lot of them off. When Elon came into Twitter, one of the first things he did is he dumped that entire group, changed the name to X.
So he doesn't want anybody to monitor anything.
He believes the thing is not true. I'll do your opinion. So how are we supposed to determine what's true and what's not true? If I've got a blue check mark on my name on X.
So does the AI model have a blue check mark on her name?
Ooh, I don't know. But now that you can pay for one, sure, why not?
So you can't verify it.
You can't. How are you supposed to know?
So nobody knows
unless they're disclosing it.
And so that's the same thing with Reels and with TikTok. That we have no idea.
How do you know any of it? And I've already commented a couple things that I brought that I've talked about were based on what I saw on an Instagram reel or story or whatever. How do we know that that's real? The first conversation was about saying bueno when you answer the phone. Is that even truthful? It makes for a good story, but is that really why?
I mean, it sounded real.
It sounds real.
Yeah.
But I didn't check it. And I wanted to use it as an example here because I don't know if it's real or if it's not real.
Well, Drew, was your dream real?
Let's see what I'm saying. We're all living in a dream world. One of the groups that has gotten behind this, though, camera companies, Nikon, Canon, Panasonic,
behind the AI
Sony,
stuff?
Camera companies are looking to fight the rise of AI-generated images by embedding digital signatures into their photos. Nikon, for instance, plans to start offering mirrorless cameras with authentication technology built in for photojournalists and other professional photographers. The technology will embed tamper-resistant digital signatures, including the date, time, and GPS, and the photographer that takes the photograph. A group of news organizations, camera makers, and technology companies have joined together to create a web tool called Verify for checking the authenticity of images for free. If the image has a digital signature, the site will display the date, location, and other credentials. So this is a step in the direction that I took a picture of this actually happening, and it's verified that that was happening by the manufacturer of the camera and the news agencies that's using it, versus Drew coming up with an AI photo and saying, well, I verified that this is...
That's fine when we're talking about like huge things on the media where people are going to actually take the time to verify. But when you're talking about things like, I don't know, explicit photos that are being shared of let's say me or you that aren't real, that someone has created.
In that case,
no one's going to take the time to verify it.
I agree. Well, if someone takes a picture of you, then that can be labeled as a verified photo of you based on time, location, signature, all of the components that the camera manufacturer is doing. If it's an AI generated image, then there's no verified check mark. So let's say that someone circulates a photo of you and says, "Hey, this is Jess." You can say, "No, it's not. Like, it's made up." My question is, does anybody care?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
if it looks good enough,
if it's racy enough, or it's I mean, no one's gonna care.
This is the conversation that we were getting into that I got super adamant about the other night at dinner, where I was saying that you're willing to look past certain things depending on how much you want it to be real. We're talking about VR porn, right? And we're talking about how in virtual reality, how even if it's a completely augmented image, which are available now, and you can put it in virtual reality, and I can put on a headset and I can, see what I want to see. It doesn't matter if it's real.
Right.
The likeness is there. And because you're in the moment.
Your suspension of belief is what's going to carry you through that.
That's right, because it's there. So someone circulates a picture of you or of, me, maybe. I'm just saying. Hot body over here. And you'll be like, oh, yeah, that's totally Drew. You know what I mean? Or, hey, that kind of looks like him. Good enough for, whatever I'm looking to do with that photo.
Wow. Whoa. Pump the brakes.
Anyway, I'm just saying. It's
an evening show, Drew.
This is not After Dark.
This is not After Dark. This is 4:18. This is people's commute on the way home.
But people are willing to look past.
Sorry. I can't do anything about it. My throat itches.
Clearing your throat all day and night.
I can't do anything about it. I woke up with a little scratchy throat.
So, that's interesting. That's a topic of conversation.
That everybody is sick after this crazy holiday?
No, yes, that. Misophonia. I haven't battled with that in a while. About that.
Are you really coming down on me for clearing my throat?
I'm not.
On air?
How is that coming?
I can't believe it.
That's not coming. No, talking about something that's not coming down on you.
I thought you were talking about my throat clearing.
Yeah, but not in a way that's like it's no, I'm not coming down on you for something that I have no control. It's like yelling at someone for being epileptic.
I know, but on this side of it, and just because FYI, we battle with this all the time. Yeah. I tend to clear my throat at times, and it what's the right word if it's not bother?
I have so my whole life as a kid, I've battled with something called misophonia, and I didn't even know it had a name. I thought I was just going crazy.
I also think it's contagious.
Well, it could be, but back to reality real quick.
I make people spit their gum out now.
It's a thing where when you hear pin clicking or you hear people clear their throats or make certain specific noises at specific times, it can completely derail conversation. So if I seem a little spacey sometimes when I'm talking, it's like when Jess clears her throat, it totally derails me for a second.
But there are times that it's fine.
There are times that it's fine. Yeah.
Is today not the day that it's fine?
It's just bugging me today. I don't know. But it's... it's why I love noise canceling headphones. I can't, and please, God, please, if you see me, don't start smacking your gum in front of me or clicking your pen just to see if it pisses me off, because that's the rudest shit that you can do. I tell people all the time, like, yeah, man, I've got this thing where people, when they chew with their mouth open, and people think it's so fucking funny to come smack their lips in front of me. Well, it's really annoying. It's like saying, "Oh man, I'm allergic to peanuts," and people are like, "Oh, let's put some fucking peanuts in a soup."
Wow, you've cursed like now 6 times in a row.
Here's my problem with it is that with misophonia, what's crazy is I follow these groups and stuff to try and figure out little ways to deal with it and whatever. But the second you tell someone, "Oh man, I have this," it's a fight or flight aversion when people click pins or do repetitive, noises. And people are like, "Oh man, let's test it out and see how bad it is." Don't be that guy. If you're listening to this, don't be the asshole that comes up to me and like starts smacking their gum because you think it's funny.
Okay, but I have no way of controlling
no, not you.
throat.
I'm not talking about you. What I'm saying is it's the rudest thing that someone can do when you tell them that you have an aversion to something and they're like,
Well, and I will tell you that I'm hyper alert now. So, and whenever I hear people smacking gum, what am I doing? I mean, you saw me the other day. I literally put my hand out and was like, "Spit out your gum. Spit it out now."
Man. But like the pin clicking, I've been in meetings where I will have a conversation, where I'll be in the middle of a conversation and someone will start clicking their pin, and I lose all train of thought, 100% train of thought. I can't focus on anything. And as I've gotten older, at first I would never say anything. I would just be like, I would have to, compose my thoughts. But I get hot, like my body heats up. I start sweating. It's really bad sometimes. But I'll just tell people, "Hey, can you do me a favor? Can you stop clicking your pen?" And I'll just explain it. And I found that people are really open to doing that.
Right.
But like I can hear people clipping their nails from 3 rooms away,
Do you feel like if you took a beta blocker, it would help?
I don't know what a beta blocker is.
Well, a friend of mine takes a beta blocker before he has to do big presentations. And he says that it really helps. He doesn't get sweaty.
Well, it's not that. It's not the presentation.
He uncontrollably sweats. And so if he has to give a really big presentation, he doesn't want to be all sweaty at the front of the room. So he takes a beta blocker and it helps with the sweating.
I've never had a beta blocker.
Let's try it. And then we'll try a tranquilizer and see what happens.
Yeah. Anyway. Sorry. I just get real frustrated with that.
But I wasn't doing it on purpose. My throat is itchy.
That's the thing.
This is a hard situation for the Lentz house.
It is. You don't do it on purpose.
Don't do it on purpose. And every now and again, I do pick up my pen and I click it.
Yep.
Not to upset you.
Or when you chew gum.
No one in the house chews gum.
Thank God. If you're going to chew gum, just chew with your mouth closed like a normal human being.
We're going to prevent you being in a bad mood, and we're just not going to chew the gum. That's what we're going to do.
I'll take it.
Oh, my gosh.
Anyway.
Drew, don't dream. Don't listen to us. I don't know what's happening. 2024, I don't even know if you like us.
What about you? What are your
about me?
New Year's resolutions? And
how to deal with you. That's what my resolution is. Let's see. How do we combat Drew's bad mood, Drew?
I God, I haven't heard that in a while. It was Mike that coined that one.
Oh, bad mood, Drew. It's a good one, too.
Speaking of nicknames, let's talk about your high school nickname.
Let's not talk about my high school. You did your dance
the other night. It was funny.
I had such a good time. Okay, so I will say that this holiday season was, yes, exhausting, and 2, I don't know, never ending. But I got to hang out with my best friend, and that part made it really fun. And our families got to hang out together. Yeah. And in case you can't tell from the smile on my face, it brings me great joy to be with that family.
It does.
And to see them and to see our children playing together.
It's so much fun. You guys, I told our daughter, I said, "Hey, I hope when you grow up you have a friend like him in your life," because he's like, watching the two of you all is so incredible. It's so much fun just to sit back. And I was telling his wife this also. I was like, "Dude, you can just sit back and watch them and just feed off your energy." And her and I were in the kitchen doing shots while you guys were.
I was gonna say she's pretty fun too.
So we have a good time regardless. But you guys it's just so much fun to watch you. It's so weird because I'm trying to think of people who I get around who I'm like that with, and you've got a really special bond with this person. But I hope everyone finds those friends.
Me too.
Golly,
yeah. If you don't have a friend like my bestie, you really need one. There's just something that happens. It's magical. And I will say that I get chemistry can't be chemistry between two people could, 1, be platonic, and 2, can be magical. It is just fun. It is for whatever time we're spending, it's you forget about all the things that really matter. Let's just have fun. And those moments as we get older and have more responsibility come very few and far between.
Yeah.
And so it's nice to just have fun.
Yeah, or it takes coordination. Like we're trying to figure out how we
Yeah.
can go hang out with them. And it's like,
Yes. Well,
how do we
there's
find
children.
sitters? Yeah,
Yeah.
there's children. Or how can we just get away for 48 hours? You know?
And that's all you really need, because after that it's complete chaos. But you really only need 24 to 48 hours.
I don't know
and
that I
that's
could
it.
spend a week with you guys. That
No,
might be
I think
too
we would
much.
combust, like we would, or end up in jail. I don't know.
But
One or the other.
you have this move that you do, and,
mean,
and he
there's
called
really-
you out on it. You were doing this move.
I know, but, and nobody sees that mood because nobody really knows me like that. But nobody sees my move.
It's like, and he says, for as long as I've known you, you've only have one move,
It's like
and you
one
do it, and
move.
you're like, but it works.
This works. It was good. It was good to see them, all of them.
Yeah, man. That was
Yeah.
good. It was a fun way to end last year and start. It was a good way to start this year. You know what was really cool about that is super opposing political views all over the place.
But nobody talked about anything.
No one
political.
talked about. That was my favorite. Well, we did. I mean, we touched on it a little bit, but not in a weird way. And it was just, it's really cool to remember that you can have friends that don't see things the same way that you do, and that's a good thing. It's a good thing. You just have to be able to have that conversation in a way that isn't stabbing at each other to do
But
it.
so what you just said is such a mature and real comment, because that I don't necessarily know if you believed during the last election.
Oh, it's easy now. My guy's in office, right?
Well,
No, but I'm just
all
saying.
joking
it's-
aside,
No,
it was rough.
Well, I think the problem that happened with the election, and it wasn't even necessarily the candidates in the election. It was that people felt empowered to weaponize their politics on both sides, on three sides, and that was really tough to be around, because it was no longer, hey, we're Americans. It was, hey, I'm the right American and you're the wrong American, or I believe in something and that's right, and that must mean that you are wrong. And that's, I think, I'm glad to see where we're at today with that, because it doesn't, I mean, dude, we still have Trump trains on Saturday mornings, though. I mean, there's still groups of people out there that are like, I'm right, you're wrong.
Well,
And it's like, golly,
but,
dude.
But to be fair, I think it's what we've learned is that, and I think we always knew that. We always knew it because it's
You
part
always
of
know
who we are.
everybody, yes.
But at the time, we were so focused on all or nothing. If you agreed with some of it, you were part of all of it.
Yeah.
And that took a minute to understand, well, no, I can agree with this, but disagree with other parts. And that's what
Yes,
that's what
that's-
all of us are, because we're not all just one party or the other. A lot of us are right down the middle.
And I think that's a conversation I had at a dinner last week, 2 weeks ago, where it was a bunch of people, varying viewpoints, like a zigzag across the table.
Right.
And there were some people that you don't even know what their politics are, but there was a comment that was made that said, we're all based like 80%, 90%. We're
right
we're
here.
in the same we're in the same spot, but it's that fringe that was dividing us. And instead of looking at it in a way that's productive on how we can help each other, it's, are we going to continue to let that divide us? And I think that's my fear going into the election cycle in 2024, is all of that is going to be used to divide us again, and to take the healing that's already been done in the last couple of years. It's I feel like that 2024 is going to come in and it's going to open those old wounds back up, and I hope it doesn't. And part of that is, when you live in the bubble and you get fed the imagery and the news stories and the fake stuff and everything that comes along with it, it's going to create a very divisive culture again. I really don't want to see that. I really don't want to see that.
Well, I think that's where we remember that we're just people and we're trying to figure out what works for us. And
Jesus says, I don't think some people ever heal. I think you're right. I totally agree with that. I don't think that people ever got over that on one side or another. And again, I'm speaking from the side that, well, my dude's in office now, and he's the person I voted for, and so my team won. So of course I'm laid back.
But to be very fair, it took you a while. It took you a long while to understand that because someone or agreed with a certain part of a party, they weren't all of it. I'll use you because here we are talking about it. It was difficult to watch you get so upset and heated when someone said, yes, I openly voted for Trump. You just assumed that all the ugly stuff that came with that, all of the things that we innately do not agree with, that they were part of that.
But
And-
that was the argument. It's like you may not agree with it, but you endorsed it. You're okay with it. And that was the issue.
But we have different reasons for voting, right? It's remembering again that we vote for different reasons.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because we're, trying to, I don't know, figure ourselves out.
There's
fiscally, or
there's some things that I feel like are just non-negotiable.
Right.
And equally, there are people who feel like those things are also non-negotiable in the other way.
Right.
Like abortion, for example. I mean, I've always made my stance very clear. I think that a woman has a right to choose what happens to her body. Period. End of sentence.
Right.
You want to murder someone with your body? According to some people, it's murder. Go ahead. Who am I to tell you that you can or can't do that? We're all humans, and if we're equals, then you should be able to have as much choice as I do. That's how I feel. There's some people that adamantly are opposed to that, and they're still friends of mine, but they look at it and say, no, I'm going to step in and I have to protect the unborn life or whatever. And so I get it. Those are those non-negotiables, but it's all the rhetoric that comes with it. It's all the
right, it's
crap.
all the nastiness.
It's all the nastiness. Like, oh, you're a baby killer.
Well,
it's like,
but
dude.
it's even you using that language, right? Because you said something right now that just made me go, right? Like it makes me go, oh, use the word murderer, right? You didn't say it's a woman's right to choose. To do whatever she wants to do with her body, which is the best way to put it.
Let me tell you specifically why I said that, because I use the wording that I'm comfortable with, which is I believe it's a woman's right to choose, and I believe that women's health, that we can't interfere with women's health, or else we're not treating women as equals to men.
Right.
We should all have the exact same thing down the middle. That's my opinion. When I've had conversations with people who have a 180-degree different opinion, their language is it's murder.
Right.
I have to step in because this is a woman murdering a child. That's what they tell me. They're like, this is why, and they're so adamant about it because they feel that this is what's happening. And so they use that language. And I'm like, okay.
So I feel like when we use language like that, we can't possibly hear the other side. So it's our responsibility, mine and yours, because I'm scary and I can maybe tell you what to do a little bit.
I'm going to run from you and slip and slide in the bathroom.
As I feel like we can't use language like that if we ever want to get our perspective seen.
I agree. And the person that I'm talking about with it, I don't think that person was open to having the conversation about it.
That person doesn't want to have
But then again, I don't think I'm willing to have an open conversation about it because I'm
curious.
I'm curious, but
Yeah.
I can't see that perspective. I can't see how I can tell you what to do, but you can't tell me
and
what
you just
to do.
tactfully say, okay, well, we don't agree. And that's it. But using that harsh language and speaking down to one another and getting so heated that you have to leave the room or that you have to unfriend somebody or that you have to say never again will I speak to them. All of that is so harsh. And I think we all need to have more peace. Like Jesus is saying, yes, everybody wants to see the peace. But know that ultimately when these conversations happen and we're having them out in public or we're having them amongst friends, just be open to using better language, better wording as to not offend or hurt anybody.
And also realize that the person that you're talking to might have a different opinion.
Yeah.
And you have to be accepting of that, even if it infuriates you.
Yeah.
And they're talking with their mouth full.
And chewing gum.
At the same time.
And clicking pens.
And not sitting with me at a Cowboys game.
And probably clearing their throat.
Speaking of building bridges, we didn't talk about the new bridge going to South Padre Island.
I don't know anything about the new bridge going to South Padre
Hey,
Island.
there's a new bridge coming to South Padre Island.
Tell me more about the bridge.
Great. Speaking of South Padre Island, shameless plug, I am super excited.
What is
on
happening?
The eve of it happening in not a long time. I am so excited for my friend Paul.
We're
I'm
all
so
excited
stoked.
for Paul.
Dead Mouse is coming back to the Rio Grande Valley, playing at the UME, the Ultimate Music Experience Festival, Semana Santa 2024. I think it's March 30th is the date. Go look it up. I'm so happy. I remember there's a Texas rave documentary coming out, and it's covering all the stuff like what. And they're asking a question: what was the first rave you went to? And so I was like, man, let me ask in the Valley because I remember. I'm trying to remember like when I started doing those events and whatever, but watching him grow over the last 25 years. And seeing this one coming back, I remember standing there with him when the first time he brought Tiesto down, and I was like, "Dude, this is nuts, man!" And he was like super chill. It's like I don't understand how you can be so chill right now. I'd be losing my mind. But Dead Mouse is coming back to UME on South Padre Island. I'm super excited. I'm going to take the kids, have to take the kids, even if it's only for a minute to stand back. I just want them to see what I used to do.
You have
know?
my full support on taking the kids to see Dead Mouse. I think they've seen plenty of acts.
They have.
And I think it'll be fun. It'll be loud.
So you and me coming up, Dead Mouse.
Yeah, that'll be good. It's a nice way to make the old new again, I guess. I don't know. It's been a minute.
All right. That being said, next week you and I are out. I guess we'll do the show from Vegas. We've done the show from Vegas
on Tuesday, because I don't come out there till Tuesday.
Maybe we'll do the show next week from Vegas, and then the following week you will be here, and I'll be in New York, and then the following week we'll both be home, and you'll be in Dallas. No, you're only going to Dallas for a minute.
Yeah, I'll be
anyway,
back. I'll be back from Dallas.
That's all. I hope everyone has a wonderful week and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year! Wonderful start to the year. Enjoy the weather outside. It's a little.
I love the rain.
It's a little rainy, a little sunny, a little rainy, a little cold.
Yeah. I wonder, look, so we were on Instagram again, which is fantastic. I think we finally figured it out. So Instagram's up there, and we're on YouTube and all of the other Facebooks and whatnot.
Oh, it's good to talk to you today.
It was nice to talk to you, too. It's been a minute.
It has been.
What a day, dude.
It's been chaotic.
You're just de-Christmasing today, which is crazy. Usually you do that.
I do it right away.
Usually you go work out at 4 o'clock in the morning. By 4:45, Christmas is already dead. So...
I'm really not that bad, I think. You like me, remember.
I do like you. Anyway.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye. Have a wonderful week.